Tired. Let's do it.
What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Tuffy Talk live show, post-game edition. Last week we was I guess second half edition, watching the second half of the NC State men's basketball game. Now it kind of lines up timing-wise for us to do post-game reaction. And also, too, it's good to finally be back on Monday night as well, as, again, scheduling issues as well. But, again, we're back to our normal time slot, Monday night, 8:20 p.m. So not quite 8 p.m., 8:05 p.m. like our normal time, Greg, but we're here, we're rolling. Obviously just started off disappointing loss here in Raleigh on Play4Kay Night versus Carolina. Again, we'll dive all into it here for sure, but any thoughts, comments, questions that you have, make sure to put them in the chat, and they'll show up even right over here on the screen as well. So definitely make sure to put all those thoughts, comments, requests in the chat. And let's get to it. But you got myself, Layden Smith. You got Greg DeLeg, and you got our guy, Macon, as well. So what's going on, Macon?
What's up, guys? How are y'all?
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, exactly. So Greg, get us started here, man. Initial thoughts here after a 61-59 loss versus Carolina.
Yeah, just didn't play enough defense. Didn't play hard enough, I thought. In the third quarter, only scored 8 points. Your scores just weren't there tonight with Zamara Jones, or AKA Batwoman, with her face shield thing, and Zoe each only getting 8 points. And look, Carolina did a nice job keeping them, way below their averages. I thought the game was very physical, and it wasn't in State's favor on multiple occasions. Just didn't let me pull up the team stats. I think we shot like 4 free throws. Let me see. Two? Yeah, okay.
2 free throws.
It was even worse. Yeah. 2 free throws, and they shot 14 free throws. Again, not blaming it on the referees, but I thought that they got away with some stuff, especially at the at the end of the first half, where there was the over and back for Carolina, and I believe it was either Zoe or Zamara that got like elbowed, like a flagrant elbow was thrown by Carolina and nothing. Just another game where we just can't hold on to a lead or, close out a game in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, and obviously it's a little bit of a different story, as it was a little bit of a comeback for NC State in the fourth quarter rather than necessarily blowing the lead. But
they had a 10-point lead at one point. So
in the first half though, right? or third quarter,
Even a
early
little bit
third
into the
quarter.
third quarter. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, 100%. And here, I think really the story for me, Greg, at this point, I know it's been brought up before, so this isn't necessarily a world beater of a comment here, but it really comes down to depth. I think that you can't look at the depth of this team and the fact that we are blowing fourth quarter leads and not think there's a little bit of a correlation between the two, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Now
Samara played 40 minutes.
yeah, no, and and that last 3-pointer by Zamaria and the fact that she's so overshot it, could that have had something to do with it? Is a question that will never be answered, but definitely a thought here for sure. But Macon, before we get to some fan comments here, initial thoughts for you on the women's basketball game?
Yeah, man, I think that the lack of perimeter shooting is killing us, and it's just where you can tell we're dying to go inside, and when you're one dimensional like that, it's gonna be really tough some nights. And I also think the other thing was those were just some careless turnovers that if I were the coach, it would infuriate me. So, so I think those two things were a problem. But I know we've had a little more of a struggle shooting outside shots. We're still third in the ACC, or at least after the night. I don't know if we'll drop down to something like fourth or fifth or something like that. But we're still at the top in the top third of the ACC. It may be just who we are this season, and I think this is what it is.
Yeah, lost a real chance at a quad one win that would have really helped. A resume could have, we're in a fight to try to getting into a top 4 seed. This one hurt for those chances.
Yeah,
ACC is definitely down this year.
Easily.
And you don't know how many more chances you're going to get like this. You still have Duke. That'll be a quad one, but this one stings. I mean, you did. You only shot 37% to Macon's point. The shooting was pretty bad. You shot 5 of 21, 24% from 3. You did everything else pretty well in the game. You only had 7 turnovers, which is a really nice, efficient night. You got him in points in the paint. Only 19 fouls called in the whole game. The refs really let him play, but it did feel one-sided when the whistle was blown, like I mentioned earlier.
Well, and one question which I'm curious about too, and just kind of going through, the thoughts in my head here a little bit, was anybody else a little bit shocked by the end of the first half play call with the ball going to Maddie Cox on 3? Do you think that's how it was designed, or did it just end up there?
No, I think it just ended up there just because of the.
I can't imagine that's a play call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what my thought was like, really, Maddie Cox? But
Well, I mean, they again,
I don't know.
Like I said earlier, Carolina did a really good job taking Jones and Zoe Brooks out of the game plan. So they were falling to sometimes second and third and fourth options, and that was just kind of how it did end up. The 8 points that Zoe got, like, they were hard 8 points. They were really hard 8 points. So you got to give credit to Carolina. I thought we definitely forced some stuff in there. This one stings. I mean, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah. Well, and so, but kind of to get to the point though as well. I mean, you had, let's see, for Carolina, you had 6 players play at least 10 minutes, but UNC had 11 players see the floor tonight. We had 7 players see the floor tonight. I'm curious thoughts you're making as well, because one player that definitely showed a little bit of spark for sure early in the season was Jernigan. Are you surprised at all, Macon, that we haven't tried to see Jernigan even see the floor at all during any real effective minutes here in the ACC play, just to try and find some help at the depth piece? I mean, I know she's young, she's only a freshman, but I mean, right now, again, like, this thing that's screaming at us in terms of need for this team is depth.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats here at the game. To me, I don't know. I think when you're starting to get into ACC play and you're seriously involved in that, you're shortening up your bench and your rotation, and those guys see those players and know what they can do and can't do just yet. Some coaches may value seniority. They just might because of how they can play on the course. So he may defer less to a freshman like that. But I think it's probably just a rotational thing. And honestly, I'm going to trust West at this point. If he doesn't think they're ready to play, they're probably not ready to play. So.
Yeah. Get into a couple comments here real quick. Rusty agreeing with you, making poor shooting in the third really hurt. You know, men's we'll definitely talk about it as well too, but from the men's side, starting second half of conference play too as well. We'll definitely talk some men's basketball here. And Colmac saying this is heartbreaking for NC State fans. It definitely is. And I mean, really for me, it's really a quadruple whammy. One, it's Carolina. Two, it's at Reynolds Coliseum. Three, it's Play4Kay. And four, you needed this win, just like Greg said, for resume perspective, and also two, to hold on to that double bye top 4 seed as well. So again, a tough loss. I mean, you were 6.5 point favorite. I mean, you know, this wasn't a toss-up game. This is a game that Vegas said you should win, you know, with a little bit of juice added on top of it as well. So but
I'm going real quick. To me, you lost this game because of your guard play. I mentioned the outside shooting, but Zoe Brooks and Zamaria Jones were not good tonight. They were, I think it was like 6 for 22. I think is the field goal percentage. That's a 27%. They both shot 3 for 11 exactly, and then you're 2 for 10 at 3. I mean, it's just not good. So.
Yeah. And again, and I mean, just like Greg said, I mean, like to Greg's point, you know, is that definitely UNC did a good job of limiting them. But with a player as talented for sure as Zoe, you know, for sure, and with a coach as great as Westmore is, we got to find ways to get them in the flow. Us too. We got to, you as Zoe Brooks, as an experienced player, like we need you to find a way to get into the flow as well here. Get to the basket, you know, find a way to get to the basket, get your layup, get some juju juices going, you know what I mean, a little bit here. But go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, where this team really struggles is you got Zoe, who's great at getting to the basket, and there's just not that kick out for like Macon was kind of alluding to earlier, where you can hit a three, hit a perimeter shot. That's where it's really hard. And when the defense collapses, double, triple team Zoe in the paint, and she kind of gets stuck in no man's land, and she tries to kick out for a shot. There's just nothing there. And then when Zoe's out of the lineup, right? Like, so you saw her out, and you saw Destiny kind of running the show with Maddie kind of replacing. The offense just doesn't flow. Like everyone kind of just stands around, waiting for something to happen, and then you just don't get into a groove. And so this team has got the talent. Like, again, we kind of said it last week. Starting 5 can compete with just about anyone in the country.
Absolutely.
It's the you know, the bench. You got 8 points, which is more than Carolina got from their bench, ironically, and they played a whole nother 6 people. So again, the bench didn't really hurt you per se, but you didn't get enough to where you could give Jones a breather. I mean, 40 minutes. I mean, you played the whole game. Like, you've got to be gassed at the end of regulation when you need a desperate bucket and you just can't pull it. It was a good look. I mean, there's a fairly open look, and it just didn't fall. You know, I mean, it was a heck of a comeback. You know, that they did fight hard until the very end, and I thought they were going to get it. I thought with about 20 seconds left, or maybe it was about 40 seconds left, right after we got the jump ball, we forced the turnover. I thought Pierre got fouled from behind on the poke away. But again, look, if they haven't called it before then, they're not going to call it in the last minute. But again, I keep harping on the officiating, and that's not why we lost this game, but
no. I would disagree with you. I would say we haven't really talked really much about the refereeing. To be honest with you, we could talk a lot more about it. I mean, 14-2 free throws is insane. The fact that UNC did not commit a single foul until they actually were trying to foul in the fourth
They had like
quarter.
5 fouls
insane.
left. Like they had
literally
given up like 1 foul or no fouls in the whole fourth quarter. That's an like, as physical as that game was. I thought there was times where I saw Tilda get hacked. I saw Samuels get hacked on like some putbacks. Just nothing, just they ate the whistle tonight.
Yeah. So, where does NC State kind of go from here? I mean, here's my thing too as well. I think that you could argue there's not really many teams in the country that are in more desperate need of getting a double bye than NC State because of what you exactly said, Greg. I mean, you want to play as few games in a row as possible to win an AC championship. Again, that double bye is the only way to do that. Even go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the double bye, or the top 4, seed in general, which is the double bye. They've won that. Whoever's been in that top 4 has won won the ACC championship 39 years in a row. So if you're not in the top 4, you are not probably going to win the ACC championship.
That's quite the stat. I did not know that. But
yeah, they mentioned it during the broadcast. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know that off my own top of my head, but just regurgitating that stat, which is amazing.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm proud of you. So right now NC State is tied with Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Virginia Tech and Syracuse for the last 2 spots in the top 4.
Which we play in the next 2 of the next 5 games.
Exactly. So I mean, it's gut check time. On top of it, you still also got Notre Dame and you got Duke as left on the schedule. So it's not an easy schedule here to finish off the stretch here of 6 games here. So
yeah, the nice thing is your last 2 are pretty easy.
Yeah, but again, I mean, especially too now that UNC has the head-to-head tiebreaker over you, they're only a half a game behind you right now.
Right.
So you're gonna need some things to go that way as well. So it's tough here, but again, I feel like with this team, I mean, being that you are, because here's the thing too, Greg, as well, is because just like Macon was saying, like none of your top 5, I would say, had a great game. Everybody at best had a good game. And by everybody, I mean Q, I would say, for what her role has been, had a good game. I mean, Pierre with 15 rebounds. It's tough for me to say she had any less than a good game. I mean, 15 rebounds. She was 7 from 19 from the field. That stinks. But again, she had 15 rebounds. It's tough for me to really say any player that has 15 rebounds has anything less than a good game.
I will go back to the. Go ahead. No, I was going to say, looking at. Go ahead.
All right, so to finish my point to that is that basically not having the bench hurts in the fact of you're not able, like none of the players that are on the court right now are really having their night. So to be able to have options on the bench to be able to go to and say, hey, can you get us going here? Can you get us rolling here? Would be nice, which is right now you don't have any players on the bench that can really do that for you. So go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, no, the point I was going to make, Carolina does have the head-to-head, but they have a pretty tough schedule to close out the rest of the regular season. They got Duke twice, Virginia Tech, and a pesky Virginia team. They could easily lose 2 or 3 more games. But again, we still have to go handle our business. At this point, we can't worry about other teams. We just got to stay focused on us and try to go out and salvage some of these, not really salvage is probably the right word, but just get some crucial wins.
Yeah. Well, and to kind of Greg's, I mean, I think really to our point here as well, making is like, unfortunately for NC State, yeah, we've been spoiled for sure. And the fact that we're sitting here, at the fact that yes, we're not in the top 25. We might not be a top 4 seed in the ACC. We probably are not going to be hosting, the NCAA tournament. So we're a little bit spoiled here for sure. But unfortunately, it's the bar that has been set for this program that Westmore definitely has set for this program. And, it's because of what, amazing people like Kay Yao, it has, in terms of vision for this program. So with that being said, kind of Greg was, not salvage, but, it's, to make this season look successful in NC State fans' eyes, I think it's got to start with getting a top 4 seed in the ACC. Because just like Greg says, if you want a chance to win AC championship, statistically, you need to be in the top 4 in the ACC. And I think that if you don't really have a true shot to win the ACC, then it's definitely tough for NC State fans to look at it as a successful year. So what are your thoughts on that in terms of salvaging outlook for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think there's opportunity there. I mean, like, they're not out of it. I think,
No.
To me, as State fans, we have our bar so high with this program because of what Westmore and, for the sake of this game tonight, KL have built. And so that's a good thing, right? Passionate fan base, expect high expectations, high standards. So they're not out of it. I'm not going to be surprised. This team seems to be struggling to me. Just like, I don't know if it's chemistry or what it is, but there's something that's just not there for them. And it just may be that they're going to have to try something different. Maybe it is trying to play some younger guards, like you said, Leighton, but they're not out of it. They got plenty of opportunities left. I'm trying to look at the schedule, who they have coming up. They've got, Virginia Tech, Duke. They got some games they can try to really make up for it and build a resume well. Heck, they could. Why couldn't they win out those kind of things? They're probably not. Probably a lot of challenges to do that, but they got plenty of games left to build their resume. Right? They've only lost 3 games in conference, right? And there's not many teams in the conference that can say that. So
true. What's going on, Carson? How's it going, brother?
Hello. I just got home from the game.
Yeah. So, we'll kind of spend, a couple more minutes here, and then we'll jump on over here to talking some men's basketball here as well. But Carson, give us your initial thoughts. Obviously, we've talked a lot about, first of all, the officiating was, questionable, to say the least. But then we all agree that we got to look, internally and say, hey, definitely wasn't our best night overall. There was opportunities for us to win the game, even there right at the end of the game there. But, is there anything specific to you that kind of maybe is something that you took away that, maybe from a high level, from a 50,000 foot view like Greg and I and Macon had, that you got out of tonight?
So when I was walking out of Reynolds, this thought was in my mind. I was telling some people about it. Yes, Snob U did win the game, but it was less them winning and more NC State losing the game, because we had our opportunities and we just absolutely did not capitalize. I think of a couple plays. Pierre, they got a couple like really easy layups, and Pierre is just standing there on defense. And then Zam missed a couple just wide open threes. Really just unlucky night shooting, because there were so many shots where the ball just bounced out from inside the rim. Samuel's got some opportunities to get a couple putback layups, and she missed both of them. And so just overall, not a great night from this team. And yeah, not an awful night, but definitely not a great one. And you're going to need a great night to beat a top 25 team.
Well, and one play in particular that we haven't even mentioned, which honestly to me, I think says a lot about the game and even this season in general, is the last free throw from Carolina. How in God's name does a player who literally
4-on-1?
It's 3-on-1 because for some reason also too West pulled Tilda out back, which I'm like, well, why? Once you rebound, you're going to call a timeout, period. Yeah. So I don't know why, but yeah, how in God's name he has a 3-on-1 and the UNC player rebounds the ball? Like it's just once again poor execution, just falling asleep at the wheel. Which once again is it that the exhaustion part? They just were not thinking and just had a brain fart and didn't box out. Like it just and yes, I get it. Even if they rebound it, it was going to be a tough opportunity to tie it.
Yeah,
it's going to be less than 1 second left. But give yourself a shot. Well, no, you had one timeout, right? You had one timeout.
No, we didn't have any timeouts.
Yeah, I didn't think we had any either. They said on the broadcast
they didn't have it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
They said it on the broadcast, but I was like, "There's no dots colored there."
Well, Debbie Antonelli was wrong on that one. So
well, okay. So then never mind then. But still, it's just
also,
like you want to see that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was not a big fan of that last offensive play where they made Zam shoot the 3. I would, if I were Coach Moore, I would have told him to go inside with Tilda, Because Tilda, I don't think Tilda had a bad game.
Well,
No.
yeah, I mean,
They did remind
I
me.
would,
They
I
don't
would,
run enough offense through her. That's the problem for me. They don't run enough offense through her.
which is
Yeah.
insane because Westmore has always loved. I mean, look at Kunane. All her years, it was literally Kunane was basically your point center, basically, while she was here. And you got a really great, talented player with similar build, similar skill set to Kunane, and he is refusing to do that. It's just more focused on the guard play than it ever has before. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know what to answer with that. I'd be curious. So, but he has his reasons, I guess. But I don't know. So the one last question, which I wanted to kind of get at, what do you think? And Greg, I'd be curious your thoughts on this. What do you think is one lesson you feel like Westmore maybe has or can learn from the season in terms of improvements when rebuilding the roster for next season?
Yeah, for me, it's look at by all accounts, we have about $1 million in NIL for the whole team.
Yep.
And for me, roster construction, like you have folks on the bench that you're getting absolutely nothing from. And again, I don't know how much, if any, NIL those ladies are consuming. I don't know if you can just get players just to get players without giving them NIL in today's world.
Yep.
And so I think we spent so much focus on retention. We got lucky with Pierre. If she doesn't get kicked off the team at Vanderbilt, we don't even have her. And I can't even imagine what this season looks like.
What the heck? Yeah.
Now, probably the resources aren't there for a GM like you have on the men's side.
Nope.
And you're and look, Wes is a great evaluator of talent, and I know I'm going long-winded on this, but we have to do a better job of some infusion into this lineup. We really had 2 freshmen and 2 transfers come into the program, and I think you could have done a little bit better with some of that management.
Well, and Carson, kind of last question I'll ask for you here, and then I'll jump over to Macon, as I know my man Macon is dying to talk some men's basketball here for sure. Do you think, Carson, at all that maybe the issue that kind of is plaguing Westmore a little bit is kind of holding on too tightly to these homemade developed players, kind of having a firmer grasp on maybe a Zamaria, a Zoe Brooks, a Tilda, then maybe he should be willing to. At the end of the day, if the price isn't right, saying, hey, let's move on. If the price ain't right, let's move on.
I don't think he's fully into it to the point where it's negative, because he can recruit very well, and we've seen some really good freshmen. I mean, Zan played really good last year as a freshman. She had some really good moments. Yeah. And so I don't think
today's day and age is different, though.
Yeah,
today's day and age is different.
Well, you didn't need her to be a rock star either with the 3 you had last year. Like, you can ease her along a lot more than you can right now. Like,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, that is true. And with the way Coach Moore likes to do things, he likes to let the younger players sort of like ease on into the system. And so I think his mindset is sort of like to use the transfer portals to fill holes in the team rather than to actually like build a team using the portal. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Hey, I just want Westmore to walk around a little bit more during the off season, like the good looking chick walking down the hallway. Like, you're NC State. You got Reynolds Coliseum, you got the tradition, you got the ability to put players in WNBA, as you've proven with Sanaya and Isaiah particularly. Listen, you're a valuable commodity. You know what I mean? Like, strut that a little bit better, and and use your knowledge of evaluating talent, and let's build a team. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing I feel like, I would have loved to see a little bit more, is like, the players we're getting is showing that off of like that we are truly valuable, and we are a place that a lot of women's basketball players would love to play with. So
did anyone check out the auction items?
No, not yet. Which also too got to give a shout out as well to $508,000 raised tonight for the KI Foundation. Absolutely incredible. Shout out to all of Wolfpack Nation for sure. What an incredibly successful night based off just that alone. Wins, loss aside. But Greg, is there one auction in particular?
Well, I won 2 personally.
Referencing.
I won 2 auctions personally. Yeah.
Okay.
DJ Burns card went for $500.
DJ Burns card?
Yeah, card, like a trading card. No, just like a state card. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. No, like the Debbie Antonelli like game day experience went for like $5,000. I think Coach Moore, like Coach with Coach Moore, was about $5,000 or $6,000. So they did a nice job raising some money today. So that's good. I love seeing that. So
love that. To Nicholas saying maybe it's time to move on from Westmore. That is a big fat no siree. That's unfortunately, yes, we can. There's 100% been plenty of times where all NC State fans in unison can say, what the heck was that? Coaching decision, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, he's KI born and bred. He has brought this program back from a really rough time. He was handpicked by Debbie Al to come in and get it done. The bar has been extremely raised because of him. He's won you plenty of AC championships. He's developed talent. He's made Reynolds one of the toughest places, if not the toughest place to play in women's college basketball. So until he says that I'm done, that's when it's going to happen. Unfortunately, that's point blank, simple. Wrap it up, put in a bow, lock it in concrete, whatever you got to do.
He needs to go, or is that where we're advocating?
Somebody commented that saying maybe it's time to move on from Westmore. So, which, yeah, exactly.
You just salvaged a team that was going to be terrible by going and getting Camille Pierre, and he still has you. He had you tied for at third in the ACC with this team that we're saying is struggling. So,
yeah, exactly.
It ain't
and you're like 6 or 8 points away from like only losing.
We lost by 2
games.
We lost by 2. Yeah.
Well, I saw that too. Yeah, we lost.
And we were down by 10 late with a chance to win, even still, as bad as we were playing, right? So,
yeah, no, 100%. So let's let Rusty get into it here a little bit. So obviously, Rusty talking about getting into the dance, which obviously is a big focal point with the Red Reckoning. If the promise of we will be going to the NCAA tournament and we will be top 4 in the ACC, book it, it's happening. So Rusty wanted to know a little bit more about what record do we need in the last 9 remaining games? What needs to happen to feel good about making it to the dance? So before we get to that, kind of recap into how we got here. On Saturday, NC State got a great quad 1 win over Wake Forest, 96-78 win. Myself, and Macon made the trek up there.
Ken's was there too.
Kenzie was there.
Ken's was there too. Yeah, no. The real NC State fans were there. So Greg doesn't have to ask us anymore.
I didn't say Greg.
I apologize for not willing to risk mine or my beautiful bride's life in 11 inches of snow. I wanted to be there, but I'm going to blame her for not letting me go.
You have deserved a well-earned hiatus if you wanted to, Greg. But
I'm sorry. Who's going to Puerto Rico next week?
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Listen, that's not a matter of willingness. That's a matter of time and resources, my man. Hey, listen. We all of Wolfpack Nation in unison are in unison on 2 things. 1, AC referees suck. 2, none of us believe that you actually have a full-time job, Greg. None of us believe it whatsoever.
Well, I don't now. I just got furloughed again today, so that's awesome.
Well, that's awkward.
I did not expect you to say that. Oh, wow. That's a really hard turn there.
God. Okay. Well, with that being said, Nick Mark says, I love you, Greg. So, yes, Greg.
The love is shared back.
What? So
anyway, let's get back to men's basketball.
Yeah, Macon, initial thoughts, man. 96-78 win. A lot to dive into that we saw in person. Thoughts, man.
So let me ask this question: am I going to answer the question that we got in the chat also, or are we just going to answer?
Not yet. Just initial thoughts for now.
Yeah. So game, shot the lights out from three. I was following some tweets afterwards. It's kind of nuts the more you think about it. I know it was last year and he was a freshman, but it's kind of nuts that Keats did not play Paul McNeil more than like 8 minutes a game.
Yeah, Ryan Williams had that tweet out the other day.
Yeah, that's
crazy. That's crazy.
Think about like because he's one of the best shooters in the country. So yeah, I thought they were great. Honestly, I was shocked at any point when Villan Lubin misses a shot at this point because he had one right against the Buck. I think he's like 6 of 7 or whatever his number was. He played well. I thought the corner three was great for us in the first half. Yeah, I think the ball moves so much better when Copeland's playing point guard. And I thought even still, Holloman, shot the three better this game than he has any game. Abel hit a clutch three when we were down 7, put us up 10. We came out of timeout and hit that shot. Another corner three. Thought that was really big. The guys were just grooving in this game. And the only thing I will say is coming out of halftime, I think the lead we had, we just kind of got a little lazy. And defensively, we let them come back on us. I saw somebody put out a tweet. I think it might have been I don't know if it was
Ethan.
Well, Ethan, yeah, on Wolfpack Stats was like, they let them score 40 points in 16 minutes, like 0 defensive intensity, which honestly, me watching the game in person, I didn't feel that or sense that as much. But when you think about it, you're like, yeah, holy cow. Like we were up by 19 going into half, something like that, and we let them come back on us. So
well, think about it. You put up 96 points and didn't score for the first 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And I told Layton, I think it was, said I texted you, my brother, and you guys. I was like, this game was over at like 10 minutes in my opinion. You could just feel it in the building. Although that's why I was really frustrated at one point when I'm like, how are we letting them? We were up by 19 to come to as close as 7, but never let them.
Coasted. Yeah, we kind of coasted to your point.
Be close enough. So big win. But I'll tell you what, Juke Harris. He's their whole offense at Wake Forest. So
he put up 28 shots.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah. Well, and he's all for sure. Yeah, he's going to get drafted for sure. He's impressive. He's an impressive talent.
All right, 25 shots. My apologies. 25 shots.
His usage number is probably like 50-some%. I mean,
pretty much.
Easily. But
so
yeah,
you were talking about.
Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was saying you were talking about Paul McNeil. He did set a career high for ACC play in this game.
Yep. He loves Wake Forest.
He does.
As Will Wade says.
Yeah, because his previous high was 24, and that was against Wake Forest last year in the upset. The other thing that I put out as a kind of an internal stat when we were chatting last week, we shot 54% from the game, but shot 57% from 3-point land.
Yes, that's ball stat.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And then the other stat that was big for me, when I was looking through the box score, Copeland 10 assists, 1 turnover to make his point. How about the offense?
Well, you're making your assist numbers are also going to go up if you're making shots too.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
that's how that works.
But that still points also. He's moving the ball really well. I don't know what Holloman's numbers were, but it was just a really great game for the team.
But Carson, what would you say if I would have told you preseason, or what if I would have asked you preseason, Carson, what are the odds of Quadir Copeland being one of the top 3 assist leaders in the ACC? What odds would you have given that? Like way outside odds, or would you actually have potentially seen this happening, being second right now in the ACC in assists per game?
I would have potentially seen this. I wouldn't have been like fully shocked. Copeland, he was pretty decent at Syracuse, and then he was Will Wade's guy at McNeese. And yeah, I'm not really shocked about that. He's a good.
I think it's just a good system. It's just a really good system for him, right? Like,
well, that's yeah.
And
go ahead, Greg.
I was just gonna say, like, and I'm going to use a different analogy. Like, obviously, everyone knows I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, but like everyone's like, well, Rondé Barber is really not a Hall of Famer, right? Like, he's not a Pro Football Hall of Famer because he just made everything look so easy, and they literally created a spot for him, and like he had some crazy stats, and they're like, well, how is he not a Hall of Famer, right? And so some guys just fit in systems, just like the systems are made for dudes, and look, you have to give credit to Will Wade, like he puts in the scout, like he figured this out, and he was, even last week when we played Syracuse, like Q had a really great game in that one as well. Like I know we're only talking about the Saturday game, but there was a game at midweek where we we really dominated Syracuse.
Do you want to know what my favorite part of that Syracuse game was?
Did you just hit puberty, Carson?
I lost my voice at the game.
Yeah, I bet you did, buddy.
He's a real fan, Brad.
Yeah.
But my favorite part of the Syracuse game was when they did that get to know your player thing, and they did Kadir Copeland for the Syracuse game.
Oh, nice.
After I saw that, I turned to my friend and say, for the UNC game, they're doing Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
But
Macon, what's your thoughts here, bud? I know we got to let you go here. So thoughts on Kadir Copeland and your vivid shaking of head left to right when talking about predictions on Kadir being top 3, if not second.
I thought he could have been. Yeah, I thought he could have been a top, a top point guard or a one of the better point guards in the conference. I wouldn't have necessarily thought even top 3, like what you said, Leighton. But your point, he's been playing well in the offense.
Did he even play point guard at Syracuse?
I think he did.
Did he?
Okay. I think he did. He would just struggle shooting the ball. He's not.
He was a freshman too, so that's a little different. So
wait, at Syracuse.
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 Correct.
I don't know. I don't think he did. I think he's more off-ball.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I think it was either the 2 guard or the backup point guard.
Small forward.
I don't remember, but
yeah.
I thought he lit it up when he played us though.
Yeah. Anyway, where I was going with that is how he's evolved in from not being a point guard. Now most guards can handle the ball, obviously, but like that's an impressive 2-year stretch for Kadir Copeland that he's basically transformed himself into a point guard, if you will.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this real quick too. Is I know to go into that question for what we need to do with the rest of this season. First off, it starts with SMU tomorrow night, and Boopy Miller. You gotta everybody's strategy is to shut him down. Some teams are doing it well because they've not won a ton of games lately. They've won some, but against good teams, they're just not winning. They've lost to Duke, they've lost to Virginia, they've lost to Louisville, but they're beat Wake Forest, Florida State, Virginia Tech, lost to Clemson. They did beat Carolina though, which didn't beat a good team, right? So
and they lost to Duke, and it was very close, and Boopy didn't play.
Right. Oh, that's right. That was at Cameron. I forgot about that.
Yeah. They lost by 6.
Yeah, they are a really high scoring team. They're 18th in the country in points per game. They're 25th in the country in field goal percentage.
But that just makes sense, but off of their head coach. I mean, their head coach is very
Indian
offensive
field.
minded.
Yeah, he's a good guy. A good coach. I think State. To me, I would be shooting as high as the seed I can get. But man, I would hate to be in that 8 or 9 seed range. I mean, if you want to be in, but I would love to shoot. 7 seed, and if we can do that,
7 seed or higher is what I would want.
Right, and right now I think somebody said that if the season ended today, they were 8 or 9, but they're projected to be. I think if they ended today, they'd be a 9. But if they were, that was before the Wake Forest game, and then they're projected to be a 7 seed. I think in these next 9 games, State has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 games. I think their goal. Obviously to win all of them, but if they can get 6 wins, I think they're going to be feeling pretty good. Because if you're getting 6 wins in there, you've beaten a few of these better teams. You've beaten at least one of Louisville, Duke, Carolina, Virginia. You need to beat Stanford, Notre Dame, Miami, Virginia Tech. Beating SMU, it'll be a quad 1 win for us. But I think if you can get 6 of those 9, I think you're feeling pretty good.
For me in this game, it's all about the guard play. Again, I think we have a real significant. I was just looking at some of the heights. Like we have a very big height advantage. So I would love to see us kind of post our guards a little bit. Boopy is like 6 foot. We like Kadir 6'6". Like take him. Like just own him. We should be able to shoot over these guys. I think Paul McNeil could have another really nice game because he can shoot over some of these guards. But I will say their interior guys kind of scare me. They got a lot of length.
I will say I'm looking at this here. I'm on Bart Torvik. They've got us projected right now as a 7 seed. So, and that would be like the teams of Texas A&M, Kentucky, and St. Louis Billikens.
Well, here's my thing. I'm just ready to break the narrative. I'm so tired of being the 8-9 seed playing that game, and then if we win it, playing number 1 seed. That's been the story of NC State for the last 15 years. If we made it to the tournament, we've always been the 8-9 seed, and then having to play number 1 overall team, your number 1 seed in the next game. That's how it's been. So like I'm ready to flip that script and like finally get a 5, 6, 7, 5 or 6 seed ideally, and you're playing now a 10 or 11 seed for a change, and then playing a 4 seed instead of playing the 1 seed. Just like let's see something different here. Especially with this team as well, with how well they're playing, and with opportunities still left on the schedule here as well, with SMU, with Carolina, with Duke. There's plenty of opportunity to get there.
State's a slight favorite tomorrow night too.
2.5 point favorite, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Really, the line I saw was NA when I checked my thing, so it didn't.
I have 1.5, but anywhere in that 1.5, 2.5. Oh, it opened at 1.5. Excuse me, it's now 2.5. Yeah. Sorry.
The other thing I will say is about this. What's moving forward? State's undefeated in quad 2 games, and this won't be that. This will be a quad 1 game. They need to get. I'm going to say. Man, they need to get 2. They need to get 2 more quad 1 wins, but they really need to shoot for getting 3 more quad 1 wins to feel really good about this. And honestly, they're going to have plenty of opportunities. This back half of the schedule is tough. But if they can get to me, I think
they'll also have opportunities in the ACC tournament.
Right. I think the only to the point they're not getting a lot of quad 1 wins, and they've only got 1. They've got a loss against. They got a loss right now. The Georgia Tech is a Q3 loss, which is projected to go to Q4 because Georgia Tech sucks right now. So
don't sugarcoat it for us, Macon.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just looking at this. They do suck. And I say, like I said, I saw someone comment or heard someone make a comment that Will Wade during the press conference he brought Georgia Tech back up again.
He did.
Someone said it looked like he was going to throw up talking about Georgia Tech.
Well, I think he's his own worst critic. I mean, honestly, like he doesn't, I know he's moved on like physically from the game, but that's going to eat at him, right? Like that's going to be relived and replayed, especially when you look at seeding for the ACC tournament, seeding in the NCAA tournament. Like he's going to kick himself for that game. The other thing I wanted to say real quick is we're 5-0 on the road in ACC play. Like,
let's make it 6-0.
And we've already eclipsed. We talked about it last week. We've already eclipsed our ACC win total of last year, and we're just halfway through ACC play.
Yeah,
the bar was real low. The bar was real low. That's not.
I will say this:
not
teams are figuring out how to handle SMU. Now, granted, to your point, Greg, SMU played up to Duke even without Boopy Miller, but teams have figured out the recipe for SMU. I'd be curious to see how other teams defended them. Maybe I'll go back and watch some of those kind of things, but in the games they've won, even the Florida State game, the Virginia Tech game, those are also close games. They've played.
Well, they wanted the buzzer. They wanted the buzzer against Virginia Tech.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so they're playing some pretty close games. But I think it begins and ends on tomorrow night with Boopy Miller. I'll be curious. Yeah. It'll be all right, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm working or anything, so I can stay up.
Yeah. Carson, what was your thought, bud? All right, see you, Macon.
Hey, guys.
My last thought, we were talking about the tournament. The last time we were higher than an 8 seed was when Julius Hodge was wearing an NC State uniform.
And you weren't even
exactly
Lord,
my
right?
point. Thank you even more.
You weren't even born, right?
Carson wasn't born then.
It was like it was like 03, 04. I was born in 03.
Yes.
So somewhere around there.
So you were knee high to a grasshopper in diapers, crawling around your dad and mom's floor. Got it.
Hey,
let's go into Rusty's question because I think it's a good question.
Yeah. Well, what can we legitimately beat?
Oh,
Duke?
not that one.
I
do think we can honestly beat them.
Well, yeah, I guess we can get that one first. Yeah, because I mean, can we legitimately beat a very good Duke team at home?
Yeah.
Absolutely, we can.
Yeah, we've done it several times before.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're a really good team, but they're not like I don't know. Like, are they a top 5 team in the country? Yes. Go ahead, Carson.
I don't think they're as good as they were last year. Last year, they had a really talented, from a talent perspective, obviously they're playing really well.
Yeah.
But last year, I think they had a better roster. But Duke has a very good team, but this is not the best Duke basketball team I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, they're number 4 in the country. Look, it's going to be a dogfight.
Absolutely.
But if you can somehow, hold Boozer to his numbers and then don't let other guys go off on you, I think you have a really good chance of winning that game. I would love to be the first team to give them a loss. That's for dang sure. When is that game?
Well, especially too, because so it's March 2nd. Keep in mind too, after they play us, they have to play. They play Carolina. So there's 100% a trap game. It is a trap game for them.
Right. They could be looking ahead of us. Yeah,
looking ahead. But also too as well. Again, I mean, we are good enough, and the Lenovo is going to be loud enough and it's going to be impactful enough to give us a chance for sure. So, and we'll just see like, and because my point for that game too is, listen, that game is it doesn't really hurt you much if you lose it, but man, it can help you a lot if you win it.
Right. It's not going to be negative. It can
it's not going to be really a negative.
It can only help you.
The
only way it becomes really negative is you get blown out by like 25, 30 points, which I don't see this team. I don't see this team. But I will say we need to start winning some conference games at home. I mean, last week was a good start with beating Syracuse. You got to hold serve at your own home court, especially when you have a Carolina and a Duke coming to your place. Like you have to win. You have to win one of those. If you want one of those, which one are you taking?
Between Duke and which game?
Carolina.
Well, from a personal level or from a what's best for us level?
Resume perspective.
Duke. Well, Duke for sure.
Duke, yeah.
I know that hurts to say it.
Losing at home to a top 25 team won't kill you, but beating the number 4 team is a lot better than beating the number 14.
Well, and they could be number 1 by that time rolls around. I mean, that's a couple of weeks out, so anything's possible.
Arizona would have to lose a game, but
probably would have to lose 2, to be honest with you. I think if Arizona loses 1 game, they're not going to drop far.
But even still, I mean, again, I think that. Again, I mean, Carolina from a net perspective, which I that's one thing I love about statistics like that is it takes the political crap out of it. It's like, listen, there's not really too much of a difference really between us and Carolina from a resume perspective, but obviously with the UNC politics perspective, that's why UNC is where they are.
Yeah, statistically, we're better in pretty much every category.
Yep.
Gosh, I would have really loved for Virginia to hold on like 2 weeks ago, and win that game. That one for me, that one's like, But I mean, you went out to California and got swept by both like Stanford and Cal, and you're still 14 in the country, or 7. I think they're 17 now. I think. What are they now? They're 14.
Yeah, 14. Yeah.
You go to lose. See, this is to the politics point of it, right? What is Cal currently? Cal is.
Yeah, they're terrible.
16-6. They're okay. But Stanford, let me see what Stanford is.
Well, they're okay. They're not bad.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're fighting for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, but
I know.
14-8. I mean, they're okay.
They're not good losses. They're bad losses for sure. But yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, well, first of all, too, it's still crazy that Duke's 20-1. That is wild. So yeah, definitely resume perspective.
And they gave up
guys.
that game too against Texas Tech. Like they should have beat Texas Tech. They
should've.
crapped themselves pretty bad.
Yeah.
No, I mean
But-
there's still lots of games out there for us to go get. You know, I think
A lot.
Tomorrow I think it's going to be a quad 1 or 2.
Quad 1.
Is it quad 1? Yeah, that's right, because we're the road team. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean you got Louisville quad 1. Like there's probably at least 5 or 6 more quad 1 games on the table.
But here's my thing too, and you know, hey, you know, Greg, you might have heard this before. I know Carson, you have too as well. But a wise ball coach once said, "You want to be playing your best ball in May." And right now for NC State men's basketball, you're playing much better ball now. Even just looking at the season at a line graph, like there's no doubt we have gotten better and better and better as the season has gone on. And it's not just from one player, it's not even from 2 players. Really, the entire roster really is getting into a flow. And I think the biggest thing too, and this is honestly the thing that I love the most about Will Wade, that you have not seen from an NC State team in a long time. And that is a full team buying into their role. The entire team fully understands and appreciates and excels in their role. Like Terrence Arsenault, he is the defender guy. When Harris really started to get rolling here, who was more times than not guarding Harris? Terrence Arsenault, more times than not.
Yeah, towards the end, the last like 6-7 minutes of the game,
Arsenault, when the ball came up the court, Arsenault was on him. Now, if it switched, then so be it. But most of the time, Arsenault was on him. You know, Holloman, like we kind of when we talked about preseason expectations for Quadir Copeland, I think a lot of us preseason expected Trey Holloman to be more of that assist point guard leader, but you know, he's really kind of stepped into a role of really that flex play, even shooting the 3 really well. Paul McNeil stepped up. Matt Abel has become reliable. Van Al Lubin's been that great 2-way player for you. Musa's been that kind of that filler player, but has fully excelled in it, even though we can definitely talk a lot about the free throw shooting, which was a slam your head and into the wall, kind of thing. But that's the thing I just love about Will Wade, and I think speaks volumes about Will Wade and the team and the guys that he was able to get and able to gel them together. And again, say, guys, no one player is more important than the team. And every single player obviously buys into that 110%.
Yeah. There's and this is only year 1. And Wade has even come out and said that look, he's missed on a few guys. Like he's openly admitted that, some of his evaluations haven't been quite what he was hoping for.
Which
so
obviously like raises a question of like, wait, who are we talking about here? Like
I mean, I think if you follow enough NC State basketball, you can kind of figure those out.
But I wouldn't say there's been necessarily swing and misses. There's been
those were his words, but
right,
guys that he probably expected a little bit more out of.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, you kind of mentioned it earlier, like this is a year-by-year proposition where things change. I don't expect a 90% turnover like you had last year after Keats's departure. But you're hoping that you got a good little foundation built. You have probably 4 or 5 guys. You don't know what's going to happen. The big ones for me are you don't really know what's going to happen with Abel and McNeil. If they continue to get better, there's a good chance that they may end up going pro, which I would love for an NC State guy to get freaking drafted in basketball. It's been so long since we've had a basketball guy draft. I think it's been 9-10 years.
Dennis Smith was the last guy,
right? And that was under Godfrey.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Got fired.
Got fired. I want to say it's been 10 years plus. But and again, that's just kind of that's kind of the things that you start needing to build a program. It's like, okay, you get potentially you get Copeland drafted, you get McNeil drafted, you get Abel drafted, you get
Darian Williams.
Thank you. I was trying to get his name out. You could in the next 2 years have potentially 4 guys get drafted, and that 4 guys And the previous regimes, you're looking at 15, 16, 17 years since you've had 4 guys drafted. And again, it's just getting your name out there, right? And now you're starting to pull recruits, and you can be like, okay, now we can develop guys, get them into the league. Like that's how you build this thing. That's how you really build the reckoning.
Well, so here, let me ask you a question, Carson, to kind of build off this, and this is a little bit of a fun one here. Over under 1.5 NC State players get drafted
This year.
This year. Do you think we get
1.5?
Over under 1.5? You think we get 2? No.
I know it's Carson's question, so I'll let him make the official answer. But
yeah, there's a chance for sure.
This is a tough question. I'm gonna go the under, just because we are very unsure about what McNeil is gonna do. I think if McNeil goes to the draft, I could very well see him get drafted. I think Darian could get drafted. It just depends on whether or not they decide what their fate is going to be.
Yeah, to build off of that, like if you only have 2 guys going into the draft this year with Copeland and Williams, I don't think both get drafted. But if
I think Copeland could sign with a G League team, definitely. But I don't think
I'm not correct. I'm not saying that he doesn't have NBA talent. I just don't look. There's only 60 some picks. Oh, hold on, sorry.
Yeah, there's only like 2 rounds in the NBA draft.
The government's calling me. Sorry, that's a big one. Yeah, with only 2 rounds, the teams are not taking flyers on guys where they can easily sign them as a free agent. But like I said, if we have 4 guys going the draft this year, I would take the over, because again, the potential with a Matt Abel or a Paul McNeil, and I could see all 4 of them having a shot at the NBA.
Yep, I absolutely agree. So, kind of wrapping up here, the men's basketball piece here. I think we really kind of touched on what state needs to do, especially with SMU, things like that.
But go back to Rusty's first question.
Yeah. What do we need to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So what record do we need in the last 9 remaining games here?
To get into the dance, or to get
the big dance? Big dance.
Get into the dance.
Yeah.
I think we need. If we're 11-7 in the conference, I think that gives us a chance with how good the ACC, with how better the ACC is this year. 12-6 pretty much guarantees.
That's a lock. Yeah, that's a lock. And again, I always hate saying it depends, but it really truly does depend. Like if you go beat Louisville, Carolina, Duke, and Virginia, and lose those 4, and then if you lose the rest of them, like you're still good, right? And so it's the combinations of who you beat. As long as you don't have any bad losses, like to me, if you beat, like even if you were to lose a couple, as long as it's not Notre Dame at 11-11, I think you're fine. Like Notre Dame, that would be a very bad loss, even though it would be a road loss, but that's a bad loss.
It's a bad loss. Yeah, absolutely. Let's rapid fire here, and we'll jump on over to some football here. Carson, which player is the key to a strong second half of the ACC schedule here?
Ooh, I'm gonna go Darian. I think when Darian is playing really well, the rest of the team feeds off of that really well. I mean, Venn plays well when Darian plays well. Q plays well when Darian plays well. He's been seemingly healthy for the past couple weeks, and most of the time it's been lights out for him. And I think if he continues that, the team is going to be very successful.
Yep. Greg, what you got?
Yeah, for me, it's Darian Williams. I think you've seen once State put a concerted effort into kind of running the offense more through him. You've seen him kind of get into a rhythm. I mean, Saturday was a perfect example of that. Was it Saturday where he got the tip? I'm getting my
Was
that the
Saturday.
Was that
no? That was Syracuse.
Syracuse.
That was Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Syracuse. He got the tip and then just got a bucket within 5 seconds.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you. I'm getting old. This is what happens. But yeah, when he can get into a rhythm, and the offense is flowing through him. Like again, you don't want him to be the primary guy, but if you got to take Q out for any kind of reason, Yeah, I just think I think he's been looking for his shot a little bit more. I think the offense has been looking for his shot a little bit more. Real quick, let me just pull up real quick the stats here. Over his last 4 games, 17, 7, 23, and 20. That's, what you're looking for from your number one guy. Again, even though he's not shooting at the highest percentage, though he has been the last 2 games, he's been over 55%. So again, you're starting to, and again, I know it was Syracuse and Wake, but you still got to play the games.
Yep.
I think it's definitely him. What about you? For you, who do you think kind of is the cog?
Yeah, should I go somewhere a little different than Darian Williams? I would say so.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going to go a different direction. I'll go Van Allen Lubin. I think he has established himself as obviously as your starting center here for sure, and I think that he's a guy that started to figure some things out for sure. I mean, over the last 3 games, he's had at least 8 rebounds, which love to see that. Like Macon said as well, he's effective, shooting the ball or getting the ball in the basket. The 68% field goal rate, which is 4th right now in the country, which is crazy, 68%. But also too as well, he's if I'm doing my math here correctly, he's 11 for 12 from the free throw line over the last
he's
3
been really
games as
good.
well.
Yeah, he's been
So
really good.
I mean, love to see that. And he only has 1 turnover over the last 3 games with 17 points, 18 points, and 12 points. So he's really been very like he's really had 3 phenomenal games and nobody's talking about it, honestly.
Yeah.
In terms of what is expected out of him. And I think for him, the storyline and also too the competition at the 5 is going to get tougher these last few games here with Duke, with Carolina, Visar, or whatever his name is, with even tomorrow versus SMU, like you're saying. Like
he's about to make his money.
For me, Van Allen Lubin.
Yeah.
Yep, he's going to make his money exactly right here, right now. Exactly.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that, you watch the game and he definitely flashes, whether he's, picking and popping, whether he's rolling to the basket, whether he's cleaning up the glass. He does all the little things that you're looking for, kind of like a glue guy, if you will. But you don't really notice him. He just is making plays, kind of like Arsenault. Like you just like, look at Arsenault. Like he had 9 points. You're like, well, where did that come from? And then again, like I'm dealing with here with Lubin. At the end of the night, you look at the stat sheet. You're like, 28 minutes, 100% free throw shooting, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 12 points. Like just an efficient game.
Great game.
Against Pitt the other day, 12 rebounds, 17 points, double-double. I mean, he is a double-double machine. The last couple of games going out.
Yeah. So I want to rapid fire here a couple of topics here as you wrap things up here. So first of all, talking about the football schedule here. Carson, what was the biggest takeaway? One big takeaway here from the state football schedule.
Yeah, we got some tough games early. At Vanderbilt, obviously the Brazil game will be interesting. And then Louisville is going to be good next year. I think I saw somewhere they were like way too early, number 15 or 16. I mean, that's going to be another tough game. I find it very funny though that we end the season with Florida State and UNC because that's what we did last year. This time it's on the road, so I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
but this is one where we're going to need a strong start.
Definitely, Greg. One big takeaway from the football schedule. What you got?
Can I give you 2 real quick?
Go for it.
2, 3 home game stands, which is kind of interesting. And then the either ors, whether it's going to be a Friday or a Saturday game, which I found kind of interesting that they're kind of flexing games, if you will.
A Friday game confirms that it would be a night game. So
yes, that is a true statement. But we have 3 flexes in a row with at Stanford, Cal, and Duke. And then the other for the hat trick, having a bye after Brazil, I think is kind of a good and bad thing. I don't hate where our buys are at this year because it's round Stanford and then you see teams struggle after coming back from overseas. And so I like that we not that we needed a bye against Richmond. Maybe I would have liked it after the Richmond game, but either way, you can kind of get back in the right time zone and be ready to continue to play.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's really looking at the stretch of Stanford, Cal, Duke, Syracuse is really a takeaway for me is that, going overseas, going across the country, playing Stanford, and then having to come home, a week later and play Cal. That's, a tough ask for sure. And it's definitely going to be interesting from a schedule perspective, what you do, what Coach Doran does with practice schedules, things like that. But again, you got to buck up and you got to go cross country, play Stanford, come all the way back home, play Cal, and then you still got Duke and Syracuse coming to town, which neither of those are gimmies at all, for sure. Now, I mean, to be determined here with Duke, I guess, but that's a whole nother offseason story there. So, but yeah, no, I mean, interesting schedule, to say the least, for sure. But yeah, definitely, I think when NC State scheduled that Vanderbilt game, they were expecting that game to be a much different game than what it's turned out to be, for sure. So, which is a good and a bad thing, I guess. So,
I mean, overall, it's a pretty favorable schedule.
It is.
I don't know. Like, if you looked at Florida State's schedule, that they have a nightmare of a schedule. They may only win 4 or 5 games next year.
I love it.
It's pretty tough. Florida State. If you looked at their schedule, it's pretty rough.
Have you seen their roster transition in the portal? It's awful.
Right. That's what I'm getting at.
It's like they're working behind the scenes to try to get Norvell out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely they are.
But yeah, like Virginia, like you don't know how that's going to really turn out. First games of the season are always kind of a crapshoot, and then you throw in the whole Brazil layer into that. That makes it interesting. But Louisville, like you said, Carson's going to be a decent team. Wake's going to be Wake, but you get them at home. The trip to Stanford makes it a little bit tricky. Cal's going to be okay. Duke's got to not be as good, especially now that they lost Mensa. Syracuse is I don't know what to think of them. They were good year one and then took a step back. Honestly, this should play out to about an 8 or 9 win season at a minimum.
Wow. That's I like it. Yeah. And we'll obviously talk much more about that too, during the offseason. But yeah, no, that's I mean, for sure. I think for any Doran team, any season, 8 wins is at least your expectation, period. Right. Which again is a good and a bad thing for Doran. So,
and we don't know what Vanderbilt's going to look like with a new quarterback either. Like, quarterback play is 100%. Everything. Again, haven't dug into that, but definitely will be a fun trip going to Music City, USA.
Absolutely is. Real quick as well, wanted to touch on wrestling as well, as I know, exactly. I know that, it was a tough loss for sure, against Virginia Tech, at home on Friday night, before the winter storm came back in. And, really my takeaway from it is, believe it or not, this has been, and is probably going to be, the worst NC State team that wrestling has had and will have for a while. And a lot of that has to go off of mostly this team has been absolutely hammered by injuries, but also too, as well, there was some turnover preseason that was unexpected. Obviously Fishback going to Ohio State, I wasn't expected, even to with how things worked out with, Camacho, that it would have been nice to kind of get a little bit more set with the 133 spot, 133 pound spot. But Jackson Arrington getting hurt basically before the season even started, killed you at 157. And then you had a really promising young freshman as well that got injured at the 141. So, it's been a rough season. But also too, it's been a rough year in terms of, from a team overall aspect. You're not seeing a ton of offense. You're not seeing a lot of bonus point wins. But with that being said, like I said, and I think is really kind of the story of this whole live stream, which is, yes, we're disappointed, but we're still a top 10 team in the country, So we're really rough, but dang, we're still a top 10 team in the country. You still got 2 or 3 potential national title contenders,
Mhm.
as well on this team. So,
Yeah, break right.
And you still get. I mean, again, here's the thing, and here's the only thing, Greg, which I'm worried about. Virginia Tech, their best years are ahead of them for sure. Man, they are stacked right now, and they're going to get even more stacked next year. So it's only going to get tougher in the ACC, particularly because of Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Virginia Tech's one of those programs where they're putting money into it, right? Whether it's
Yep.
NIL, everything. And this is the new era where you have to decide what baskets you want to put your eggs in, and
Yep.
if we don't figure it out, we're gonna probably fall behind. I mean, there's no question that we lost a guy or two to NIL this
Yep.
offseason, and that
Definitely.
could continue. So
Exactly right. Yep.
we'll see.
But with that being said, we'll wrap it up there. The last thing I will say though is there is some off-season moves that are still left to be said regarding coaching, regarding open spots as well. So make sure to keep an eye on that for wrestling. But with that being said, we'll wrap it up there. Obviously talked a lot today. Obviously disappointing loss for sure for women's basketball. But again, all the options still ahead. Men's basketball is looking super promising. Excited about the game tomorrow night versus SMU. And then obviously too as well, excited for football to come back. Obviously not hurrying it along too much. Is we still got
Baseball.
Baseball still even between then as well. It's gonna be awesome. So with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, make sure if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're listening to us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you listen to us, do us a big favor, leave us a 5-star review. Greatly appreciate that as well. And make sure to give us a follow, Tuffy Talk now on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. But with that being said, we'll talk to y'all soon. And as always, go Pack, y'all.